Hey there, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a haul review of a fragrance that I cannot believe it's taken so long for me to get into my collection. It is just such a stunning beauty, and I picked it up on its own shopping one day, full price, which I felt like warranted me to have a full video dedicated to it, because there are very, very rare occasions where I will go out to like a store or a department store and purchase a fragrance full price nowadays. And this was one of those cases. And so, I've already done the unboxing and first impressions on my own. So now I was just going to dedicate a full video review on this. I know a lot of people are curious about this fragrance, and it's definitely harder to find. Not too hard, it's not one of those impossible ones by any means, but it's a little harder to find. And so I'm gonna be here and do a full review, and hopefully it's helpful. So if you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to subscribe, and let's get into it. So the fragrance in question, as you can see by the title, is Terracotta by Guerlain. And it's Terracotta Le Parfum, but it's actually an eau de toilette. That's the kind of interesting / misleading thing about the fragrance, is while it's called Terracotta Le Parfum, it is technically an eau de toilette formulation. And the bottle is a stunner. I feel like a lot of people are very drawn in by the bottle and aren't even into these kinds of scents and end up picking it up. And I can see why. It really is stunning. I think the only thing that I feel like I would change is I wish this entire front dial was this gold, and it kind of feels like a thick sticker. It doesn't feel like it's even engraved in there, so I wish it was kind of like a gold engraving. And yeah, that's the only thing I would change. But in general, it's a really, really beautiful bottle. I love circular or cylindrical bottles like this. So stunning. And this is the 100 ml. Yeah, I think it actually only comes in a 100 ml. I could be wrong. But basically, this fragrance was created 30 years after, like on the 30-year anniversary of the Terracotta makeup, like powder collection by Guerlain. They made, I think it was TERRACOTTA, who is the perfumer behind this, made this and some other fragrances as part of that collection to kind of celebrate that whole anniversary. And the two other fragrances in this collection, I never heard about them, but I read them online. They came out before this one. So this one came out in, I think, 2014. And the only thing I wasn't able to really confirm online is it seems like it's discontinued, but I will say, for my Canadians out there, you can find Terracotta, the large bottle, on Shoppers Drug Mart on their website and in select Shoppers Drug Mart stores. That's where I picked mine up. It's about $94 Canadian, if I remember correctly. So I will link the Shoppers Drug Mart link if you want to buy it online in the description box below. It's a non-affiliate link, obviously, but if you guys are interested and can order from them and want to, I will link it below. For like US and international, I'm not exactly sure. I know FragranceNet a while ago, Josh Jane actually was posting about it, had like mini little version decants of it. But so I can't really figure out if it is actually discontinued, because we still have it in our stores. And when did it go discontinued? Some people said it got discontinued 5 years ago, but it's still like readily available in our stores and online. So whatever the truth may be on where and how much is left, if it is discontinued, I would say hopefully this review helps you figure out whether or not you want to get your hands on it. So Terracotta by Guerlain is a really, really beautiful fragrance, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I felt like I would before I picked it up, because I kind of had an idea based on the powders what kind of and the notes, what kind of fragrance it was going to be. But I really, really did come to like it. So I will let you guys know the notes are, it comprises of solar floral notes with bergamot, coconut, tiare flower, white florals such as jasmine, ylang ylang, orange blossom, and laid on a sultry base of musk and vanilla. And It does come in 50 ml and 100 ml apparently, according to Fragrantica, and it's a stunner. It is a very, very quintessential, like beachy floral. I don't think this fragrance is for everyone at all, and yet I think it's really beautiful. I feel like if you like Soleil Blanc by Tom Ford, Holidays by Mancera, Bronze Goddess by Estee Lauder, even Wanderlust Sublime by Michael Kors, these kinds of beachy florals that are very white flower centric. Some might have coconut like this one. Some have tiare flower, which is super beachy and I feel like is just evoking of the Caribbean and Hawaii and all that sort of stuff. They usually have a base that is kind of slightly powdery or vanilla-y or musky, and some lean more sunscreen territory and some are more floral, but in general they have a lot of the same vibe, and you have to like those kinds of fragrances. I feel like if I'm listing off these kinds of fragrances and they don't speak to you at all, I wouldn't recommend Terracotta Le Parfum, even if it's discontinued and hard to find in a beautiful bottle. I feel like you really have to be into those sort of scents. You don't have to be into all of them. I feel like I know a lot of people wouldn't like something like Bobbi Brown Beach by Bobbi Brown, but then they would like Mancera Holidays, for example. So I think if you're in that area, it's worth a try, but if you don't like any beachy florals, anything that is slightly solar note or sunscreeny or very like sweet white florals, totally look past this fragrance. However, if you're willing to give it a shot and if you like those kinds of fragrances, my goodness, is this a beautiful one. It is very strong. And I feel like that's the main thing that surprised me about this fragrance, is I figured it was going to be lighter than it actually ended up being. Because I imagined it more so like reminiscent of the scent in the powdered products, and just, I guess because it was trying to evoke a little bit of like that makeup-y scent, I thought it was going to be a lighter scent. It's an eau de toilette, something that sat closer to the skin, and it really isn't that. Especially in the opening, I feel like it could even be a little bit too strong for some people. With the jasmine, the tiare flower, on my skin, I don't get the coconut until it rests a little bit, but in the beginning, it is a lot of white florals. Super strong beachy white florals, and I love it, you guys. But the real star of this fragrance isn't that opening. And I would say, if you like it, great, like me, but even I can agree, the real star of this fragrance is when it settles on the skin. And that's why I sprayed on my skin a couple minutes before I started filming. I sprayed this fragrance because I knew out of the bottle and in the air it was going to smell like it's opening, which it does. It's very strong. Yeah, like jasmine, tiare flower, very sweet, almost a little sharp, white, beachy florals. But when it rests, you get that milky, creamy coconut, and I adore it. It is so the perfect kind of softening to that strong, beachy white floral in the opening, and it just kind of gets better and better the more it's on your skin. It settles in a little bit more, it warms up, it's not so in your face, and it just kind of finishes on the skin when it's just almost a skin scent. It's a really nice, sweet, musky vanilla. I feel like I still get some of that coconut until the very end, and a little bit of that tiare, because it's actually quite strong. Like the tiare jasmine, as I say, is quite strong, but in general it just kind of fades out to the most sweet, like powdered vanilla. And I love it. I really, really like this fragrance. I feel like it's a very classy fragrance that would do extremely well in like resort type vacations. That's really what this evokes for me. Kind of like being on a resort in the Caribbean or in Mexico or in Hawaii. It's not an adventurous summer vacation, the kind of memory this evokes, but it's just something where you're lounging, where you're just like in bikinis and bathing suits and sarongs all day, and then you just get a little bit dolled up at night where you're already sun-kissed in like a slip dress and you're headed down to like the resort restaurant. I am very much missing vacations and all that good stuff that comes with going away around the holidays or in colder weather. So maybe that's what's evoking it for me. But in general, this is such a beautiful fragrance that I feel like would do so well for those relaxing type of holidays where you get a little bit dolled up at night, but mainly you're just in like summer dresses, breezy weather, and in the sunshine. And the perfumer, if I remember correctly from what I read, he said like the fragrance that he created was with trying to encapsulate like the beauty of the sun in a bottle, or the joy, the basically sun in a bottle. And that is exactly what it is. It is beachside florals, it is sun and sand, and I just love it. I really, really do. And I felt like because it was one of the fragrances where I rushed out and picked it up, I would have had, and bought it full price, I would have had even higher expectations for this kind of fragrance. And at first, I won't lie, the first few sprays, I was like, whoa. I like it because I like pretty much everything, and especially in this kind of beachy floral, white floral category, I am very forgiving. It takes a lot to be too overpowering for me in the white floral category because I'm just such a sucker for those florals. But I know the white florals are harder for some people, especially with like, I find jasmine and tiare flower, when they're mixed, if you don't like those kinds of fragrances or beachy fragrances, it's hard to take both of them in a fragrance at once. And it has, you know, coconut and it has musk, and the bergamot in this, personally, to my nose, even in the opening, I don't really get a lot of, so I don't feel like nothing is really cutting through that sweet, full, rich, creamy white floral. And it was a lot even for me in the beginning, but I'm so forgiving to it, and I'm so glad I gave it a fair shot because it's a stunner. It really, really is super, super beautiful. So I would say, again, if you like those kinds of beachy fragrances, it's a no-brainer. Definitely pick it up. If you're from Canada, you can find it a little bit easier. If you're in the States and internationally, I'll try to see if I can find other places online. But if I can't and you happen to find it, I'm sure it kind of comes in waves at these like stores like FragranceNet or Fragrance Buy or whatever it may be. But if you can find it and you know those kinds of beachy fragrances work for you, it's a no-brainer. And if you like some of them, I would still say to go for it, knowing what you know about it now, that it is going to be strong. It does need a second to settle in. Oh my God, the most beautiful coconutty floral, and it's just such a beautiful take on it. It's not anything that you would smell and say, wow, really Guerlain broke this kind of like glass ceiling on this kind of fragrance and it's so unbelievably unique. I don't think it's that unique. I think there are a lot of fragrances that come close to this kind of vibe, like I mentioned, but it's a really, really nice take on it. And even though I bought it completely off season because we are now basically in the dead of winter and the holidays, and this is a summer fragrance if there ever was one, I'm still a huge fan, and I can't wait to pull this baby out in summer of 2021, preferably on holiday, and enjoy the beautiful white floral gorgeousness that it is. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. Definitely let me know in the comments below whether you currently own Terracotta, whether you'd be open to trying it and you're interested in these kind of florals. And if you do have any background, guaranteed information on whether or not what's going on with the whole discontinued nature of this fragrance, definitely let me know in the comments below. From what I could see, it has been, but it's still, I guess there was enough of it in production that it's still available in a bunch of places, but definitely let me know. And as always, don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!